A forgotten corner of the Blood Devouring Killing Formation has revealed a tragedy far darker than the search for Immortal Flowers. Chu Feng and Miaomiao discovered Lil Red, the strange royal spirit insect, only to find her entire clan slaughtered by the Dark Hall. Now 10 Dark Hall experts stand between them and the truth, but Chu Feng's overwhelming battle power has already turned the tables, and their final secret may be even more dangerous than the massacre itself. The old tea house keeper nearly dropped his cup when he saw familiar faces returning through the door, dust from distant adventures still clinging to their robes. "You daoists certainly know how to make an old storyteller wait," he laughed, pushing a fresh pot of tea toward the fire. "Come closer, then, because tonight's tale brings a shameless little insect, a grieving clan, and the Dark Hall into the same storm. And I suspect this chapter has enough trouble to keep even the loudest jianghu wanderer quiet. Deep within the Blood Devouring Killing Formation, where even the air seemed soaked in ancient danger, Chu Feng's curiosity was stirred by something Miaomiao had mentioned, a legend hidden beneath the terror of this forbidden land.
What sort of legend?
According to the legend, the blood-devouring insects are not the only creatures living in the depths of this killing formation. There is another creature here. Something very special, very stupid, and strangely interesting.
Very stupid and interesting. What kind of creature is it?
Chu Feng's interest immediately deepened. Anything capable of surviving in the central region of the blood-devouring killing formation could hardly be ordinary. For Miaomiao to speak of this mysterious being with such certainty only made it seem even more unusual.
I don't know exactly what it looks like. I only heard about it from my royal father. He said it originated in the ancient era and for some unknown reason eventually hid itself in the depths of the blood-devouring killing formation. My royal father also said that it is extremely stupid, but it possesses a special kind of power, one that seems to be particularly useful to world spiritists. And there is something even stranger. It can speak from the moment it is born. The first living creature it sees will be regarded as its parent, and from then on, it will devote its entire life to that creature. You happen to be an extremely powerful world spiritist. If you really encounter it, the benefits you obtain could be enormous.
After hearing that, I'm starting to hope the legend is true as well.
But legends were only legends. The true reason Chu Feng and Miaomiao had entered this deadly place remained unchanged: the ancient era's Immortal Flowers. For the days that followed, the two continued deeper into the central region. Chu Feng activated his heaven's eyes, sweeping every tree, stone, shadow, and disturbance with extraordinary perception. Beside him, Miaomiao relied upon her own special sensory ability, refusing to overlook even the smallest possibility. Yet 3 full days slipped away. Nothing. Not a single ancient era's immortal flower appeared before them. Their greatest enemy was no longer merely the danger hidden inside the killing formation. It was time itself. Maintaining powerful perception hour after hour consumed concentration and stamina, while the enormous scale of the central region made every failed search painfully expensive. Chu Feng soon noticed that Miaomiao's condition was deteriorating. Her lively expression remained, but beneath it was unmistakable exhaustion. Knowing she had pushed herself far enough, Chu Feng suggested that they stop and rest. Almost immediately after he spoke, Miaomiao climbed onto a nearby giant tree and fell asleep. There was no teasing, no playful protest, no attempt to pretend she was still energetic. The moment she was allowed to rest, her body surrendered to fatigue. Watching her sleep, Chu Feng felt a faint ache in his heart. Miaomiao always laughed easily and carried herself as though nothing in the world could trouble her. Yet, during these few days together, Chu Feng had already seen through that carefree exterior. Behind her playful personality was someone willing to work relentlessly once she had decided upon a goal. Her exhaustion was proof that she had treated this search every bit as seriously as Chu Feng. Inside Chu Feng's world spirit space, however, Eggy was no longer able to remain unconcerned.
Chu Feng, this cannot continue. Is that girl truly certain that the ancient era's immortal flowers exist here?
Her concern was justified. Chu Feng and Miaomiao had searched continuously for 3 days, yet they had not even covered 5% of the central region. The sheer size of the Blood Devouring Killing Formation was terrifying. Worse still, even with their blood-devouring armors protecting them, the strange power of this place continued to restrict their abilities. Neither Chu Feng nor Miaomiao could unleash their true maximum speed. At their current pace, searching the entire central region would require several tens of days, even if they abandoned sleep and rest altogether. But their armor was not permanent protection. Every hour spent searching was also an hour stolen from the time they needed to escape. That was the true danger Eggy feared. Once the blood-devouring armors lost their effectiveness, Chu Feng could not simply create replacements on the spot. If the protection disappeared while they were still trapped in the depths, both Chu Feng and Miaomiao could die here.
I can sense that the blood-devouring armor should last for no more than another 30 days. To guard against unforeseen trouble, Miaomiao and I can only remain here for another 20 days. The final 10 days must be reserved for leaving this place. If we still cannot find an ancient era's immortal flower within those 20 days, then no matter how unwilling we are, we will have to give up.
Chu Feng's decision was cold but necessary. Treasures could be searched for again. A lost life could not. More importantly, he had already calculated the retreat before desperation could cloud his judgment, a habit that repeatedly separated him from cultivators who gambled everything on a single opportunity.
Min, whatever happens, you must put your own safety first.
Hearing that Chu Feng had already considered the risks and established a firm deadline, Eggy finally relaxed slightly. But Chu Feng himself had no intention of sleeping. He rose quietly and constructed a concealment formation around the sleeping Miaomiao, hiding her presence as thoroughly as possible. Then alone, he moved back into the forest. This was typical of Chu Feng. He accepted that Miaomiao needed rest, yet he refused to let those hours become wasted time. As long as he could continue searching without putting her in danger, he would squeeze every possible opportunity from the limited lifespan of their armor. Nearly 2 hours passed. Then Chu Feng suddenly slowed. A trace of pleasant surprise appeared in his eyes. He had not discovered an ancient era's immortal flower. But, for the first time since entering this region, he had found a living creature other than the blood-devouring insects. Upon a giant tree rested a tiny red insect. It was roughly the length of an index finger, yet so slender that at first glance it resembled a miniature earthworm. Its appearance was unimpressive. Its aura was not. With a single glance, Chu Feng could tell that this was absolutely no ordinary insect.
Eggy, look at that insect. It really does look rather stupid. Could this be the legendary creature Miaomiao mentioned?
It's very possible. Judging from its appearance, it may have only recently been born and could still be in a larval state. Chu Feng, hurry over there. See whether it will recognize you as its master.
Chu Feng moved instantly. With a sharp burst of speed, his figure flashed through the forest and landed directly upon the giant tree where the red insect rested. The wind generated by his arrival caused the little creature's body to tremble. Yet it did not flee. Instead, it slowly turned its head, 2 large black eyes fixed upon Chu Feng.
Who are you?
Chu Feng nearly lit up with delight. It could speak. That single sentence was enough to make Miaomiao's legend suddenly seem very real. Chu Feng immediately steadied his expression. If the legend said this creature would regard the first being it saw as its parent, Then naturally he had no intention of wasting such a remarkable opportunity. He softened his face and spoke in the gentlest voice he could manage.
I am your mother.
The little red insect immediately recoiled.
You're a male.
Chu Feng froze for an instant. So much for the claim that this creature was unbelievably stupid. It had exposed Chu Feng's first deception with a single glance. At the very least, its basic judgment was far sharper than the legend had led him to expect. But Chu Feng recovered immediately.
Then I am your father.
Oh?
The tiny creature stared at him suspiciously. Then, without acknowledging him any further, it began crawling slowly away. After moving a short distance, it stopped and curved its slender body. Chu Feng watched carefully, completely unable to determine what the strange little thing intended to do. Then the insect suddenly twisted around. An unmistakably mischievous expression appeared upon its insect-like face.
I am your grandma.
The next instant, the creature sprang into the air. Its tiny body transformed into a streak of red light and shot through the forest at astonishing speed. Even Chu Feng was startled. And just like that, the supposedly foolish ancient creature had not only rejected Chu Feng's attempt to claim it, it had insulted him and fled. If nothing else, this meeting had already proven that the legend had omitted one rather important detail. The creature possessed an outrageous personality.
You insult me and think you can simply run away? Little bug, just wait until I catch you.
How could Chu Feng allow such a bizarre creature to disappear now? His body shifted, martial power surged, and the Azure Dragon dashing technique erupted beneath him. Like a dragon tearing through the wilderness, Chu Feng launched himself after the red streak. But the creature was far faster than its tiny body suggested. Even after Chu Feng unleashed the Azure Dragon dashing technique, the distance between them refused to close. This alone revealed how extraordinary the creature was. Chu Feng's movement technique was no ordinary martial skill. Yet a newly born insect could match his pursuit without displaying any obvious strain. Its value to a world spiritist might have been mysterious, but its physical ability was already shocking.
Come on, grandson. Chase your grandma. Hurry, hurry, come catch me.
The creature was not merely escaping. It was deliberately provoking him.
Damn bug, you actually dare to look down on me?
With a thought, lightning exploded across Chu Feng's body. The Thunder Armor appeared. His cultivation surged from rank 1 Martial Emperor to rank 2 Martial Emperor, and with that increase came another explosive rise in speed. Chu Feng had now combined the Azure Dragon dashing technique with the enhancement of his Thunder Armor. Against an ordinary opponent, this sudden increase would have shattered the pursuit instantly. Yet the little red insect responded at once. Its speed suddenly multiplied. Red light flashed repeatedly between the towering trees, moving several times faster than before. Chu Feng had increased his cultivation, yet all he accomplished was preserving the same distance between them. He still could not catch it. That was perhaps the most astonishing part. The insect had clearly been holding back. Chu Feng accelerated, and it simply accelerated with him. Whatever its true origin, this was no helpless newborn waiting for someone to become its master. Then laughter drifted backward through the forest.
Ha ha! Trash! Moron! Idiot!
The insults came one after another as the tiny red creature continued racing ahead, apparently enjoying every moment of Chu Feng's failed pursuit.
You actually tried to deceive your grandma? You're destined to remain nothing but a grandson. Come on, chase me. Catch me if you can. La 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 la.
Chu Feng could even see the creature turning back while flying, sticking out its tongue and making provocative noises at him. A creature from the ancient era, born with speech possessing mysterious benefits for world spiritists, and fast enough to keep ahead of a rank 2 martial emperor. Chu Feng using the Azure Dragon dashing technique. Yet its first great act after meeting him was to call itself his grandmother and mock him across the forest. If this truly was the creature from Miaomiao's legend, then Chu Feng had found something far stranger than he had ever expected. Chapter 1916. Bravely fighting against a lowly insect. Deep within the ancient forest, what should have been a solemn search had somehow become an absurd contest between Chu Feng and a tiny crimson creature whose arrogance seemed larger than the heavens themselves. From within Chu Feng's world spirit space, her lady queen could barely contain herself. The sight of Chu Feng being mocked and outrun by something no larger than an insect had left her thoroughly entertained.
Ha ha! That little insect really is despicable. Chu Feng, if you actually fail to catch it, you'll never live this humiliation down.
Her laughter only added fuel to the fire. Chu Feng's gaze sharpened, and the lightning raging within his eyes became even more violent.
Once I catch that thing, I'm definitely going to make it regret this.
With a surge of power, two wings formed entirely from lightning burst from Chu Feng's back. They stretched outward like razor-edged blades, illuminating the forest with violent flashes. His cultivation rose once again, reaching the level of a rank 3 martial emperor. In the same instant, his already terrifying speed multiplied. This was the crucial difference between Chu Feng and ordinary cultivators. His lightning bloodline did not merely enhance his destructive power, it could directly elevate his effective cultivation, turning an apparently even pursuit into an overwhelming advantage the instant he revealed another layer of strength. The little crimson insect glanced backward. The moment it saw Chu Feng closing the distance at an impossible rate, all of its previous confidence vanished.
Holy Mother, save me! What kind of monster are you? Why can your cultivation keep increasing? I'm going to die of fright! Mother, save me!
Its frantic cries exposed the truth. The creature had already pushed its speed as far as it could go. There was no hidden reserve left, no second burst waiting to save it. It knew perfectly well what was about to happen. Lightning tore through the forest. Chu Feng shot forward like a heavenly bolt, crossed the remaining distance, and appeared directly beside the fleeing creature.
Let's see how arrogant you can be now, little thing.
His hand snapped shut around it. And just like that, the noisy creature became silent. It stopped struggling. It stopped shouting. Instead, it stared up at Chu Feng with an expression so pitiful that one might have mistaken it for the most harmless creature beneath the heavens.
Go on. Insult me again. Weren't you having such a good time before?
Granddaddy, please spare me. I was only joking with you.
Chu Feng nearly choked on his own anger. A moment ago, this creature had mocked him without restraint. Now that it had been captured, it had instantly abandoned all dignity. There was no question that the insect possessed considerable intelligence. Its behavior was far too deliberate to belong to some newly born beast acting on instinct. It understood provocation, fear, flattery, and self-preservation, and it switched between them with shameless efficiency.
Don't call me Granddaddy. Call me Great Sir.
Yes, great sir. Great sir, everything earlier was only a joke. Surely someone as magnificent as you can forgive a tiny creature like me?
Do you think I'm an idiot?
Absolutely not. Great sir is clearly brilliant beyond compare.
Enough. Save your flattery, you cursed little insect. After everything you said earlier, perhaps I should simply feed you to the birds.
The effect was immediate. The insect's pitiful expression froze, and something dangerous flickered across its tiny eyes.
Wait, you're serious? You truly intend to feed me to birds?
That's right.
The disguise vanished.
Your grandma already begged you and you still refuse? You damned fool! Let me go! I'll bite you to death! When my parents find you, they'll twist you into fried dough, dunk you in tea and eat you for dessert.
So much for surrender. The moment it believed its life was truly threatened, the creature returned to its original nature. Its groveling had never been submission. It had merely been another survival tactic. Chu Feng's expression darkened.
You still dare curse me? Then I'll teach you some manners.
Lightning immediately gathered within Chu Feng's palm, surrounding the insect with crackling arcs of electricity. Despite its tiny body, the creature was astonishingly sturdy. Yet Chu Feng was not merely a martial cultivator. As a Dragon Mark Royal Cloak World Spiritist, he possessed far more refined methods of testing and restraining unusual life forms.
No, stop!
Its shrill cries rolled through the forest again and again. After a while, however, Chu Feng suddenly stopped. A detail in the creature's words had caught his attention.
Hold on, how do you even know what birds are?
Of course I know. Don't underestimate me. We may live inside this place, but the royal spirit insect race possesses plenty of knowledge.
Chu Feng's eyes narrowed with interest. At last, the creature had revealed something useful.
Royal spirit insect race? So royal spirit insects are what your kind are called?
That's right.
An impulsive thought crossed Chu Feng's mind.
Then tell me this. Do you know what race I belong to?
Naturally, I've heard that beyond the Blood Devouring Killing Formation, countless different races exist. And those races differ greatly in strength. Yours belongs among the weakest.
The joking atmosphere faded slightly. Chu Feng's eyes gleamed as he considered those words. Within the present Holy Land of martialism, humanity stood beneath only the ancient era's elves in overall prominence. Yet that status did not mean the human body itself was naturally powerful. Without cultivation, humans were fragile creatures. Compared with beings born with extraordinary physiques, bloodlines, shells, scales, or innate strength, humanity truly did begin from an unusually weak foundation. A sufficiently heavy object falling from the sky could end an ordinary human life without effort. Viewed from that perspective, the insect's claim was not entirely ridiculous.
Then what race am I?
The insect answered without hesitation.
You're a pig.
Chu Feng's eyes widened.
Say that again.
You're a pig. Ah, stop! Was I wrong? Aren't you a pig? Then what are you? Mercy, I'm still just a child.
The forest once again filled with the creature's cries. Only after giving the shameless insect a lengthy lesson did Chu Feng finally stop. Yet beneath the absurd exchange, Chu Feng had been doing something far more important. Using his world spirit techniques, he had quietly examined the creature's body throughout the entire ordeal. And what he discovered erased much of his amusement. The royal spirit insect was extraordinary. His methods could cause it pain, yet actually destroying its body was another matter entirely. Its vitality was so tenacious that, with Chu Feng's current strength, killing it appeared practically impossible. That realization changed the meaning of their entire chase. Chu Feng had not merely captured a fast and irritating insect. He had captured an immature member of a race whose body could withstand power that should have annihilated ordinary creatures many times over. Speed was only one of its gifts. Its terrifying vitality was another. A trace of unease entered Chu Feng's heart. If a young royal spirit insect was already this difficult to kill, then what level of power would a fully matured member of the race possess? And that question carried an even darker implication. If adults were nearby, then Chu Feng's victory over this youngster might mean nothing at all. Against an entire race of such creatures, arrogance could become fatal in an instant. Chu Feng immediately tightened his grip around the insect, preventing it from shouting. He then concealed its aura with a sealing formation and rushed back toward the place where Miaomiao had been resting. But the moment he arrived, his heart sank. Miaomiao was gone. More troubling still, the spirit formation Chu Feng had personally arranged to protect the area had been broken.
Damn it!
His expression changed drastically. Every instinct warned him that something might have happened while he was away. Then, from the distance, rapid movements sliced through the forest, one after another, growing closer with every heartbeat. A figure soon emerged. The tension in Chu Feng's chest instantly loosened. It was Miaomiao.
Miaomiao, where did you go?
Her answer came with unmistakable anger.
I should be asking you that. Where did you disappear to? When I woke up, you were nowhere to be found.
Chu Feng fell silent. He had seen Miaomiao annoyed before, but this was different. There was no playfulness behind her anger this time. She had been afraid for him. Chu Feng had gone searching for the ancient era's immortal flower alone, because he wanted to help her and avoid unnecessary risk. His intention had been good, but his method carried a flaw. By leaving without any message, he had forced Miaomiao to wake in hostile territory with no idea whether he was safe, injured, or already fighting for his life. For once, Chu Feng could find no excuse. He had overlooked something simple, and that mistake had caused someone who cared about his safety genuine worry. Before he could finish apologizing, another voice suddenly emerged from his clenched hand.
Hey there, beauty!
Chu Feng's expression stiffened. The little creature had somehow broken through the spirit formation he had used to restrain its voice. That small act was another warning. Chu Feng was a dragon Mark Royal Cloak world spiritist, yet this seemingly juvenile royal spirit insect had managed to overcome one of his restraints. Its race clearly possessed abilities that could not be judged by size or appearance. Worse still, the shameless creature had once again transformed its expression. The foul-mouthed menace from moments ago was gone. In its place was a pitiful, innocent-looking little insect, gazing at Miaomiao, as though begging a benevolent immortal maiden to rescue it from a ruthless tyrant. Its intention was painfully obvious. It wanted Miaomiao's sympathy.
Ah, Chu Feng, what is that thing you're holding?
Her anger was immediately interrupted by surprise. Curiosity and delight flashed across her face as she stared at the strange crimson creature. And just like that, the little insect had changed the entire mood of their reunion. For something Chu Feng had barely managed to catch, it possessed a truly astonishing talent for creating chaos. Chu Feng looked down at the creature in his hand, then back toward Miaomiao.
It calls itself a royal spirit insect. If I'm not mistaken, this should be the legendary creature you mentioned before.
Chapter 1917. The Witch Miaomiao. The moment Chu Feng revealed the tiny red insect, Miaomiao's eyes lit up with immediate curiosity. Whatever caution Chu Feng possessed, she clearly did not share.
Really quickly, let me see it.
She stretched out her hand, already eager to take the strange creature from Chu Feng.
Be careful. Don't underestimate this little thing. I spent a great deal of effort catching it, and it is extremely crafty.
I know. Hurry and give it to me.
Faced with her impatience, Chu Feng could only surrender. He placed the finger-length red insect into Miaomiao's palm. Yet, just as it changed hands, Chu Feng caught something infuriating. The insect was staring back at him with unmistakable smugness, as though silently declaring that he had been thoroughly outplayed. That expression told Chu Feng everything. The creature had not escaped him through innocence or luck. It understood exactly what it was doing, and now that Miaomiao stood between them, it clearly believed itself untouchable.
Chu Feng, did it really mistake you for its father?
Father? Not even close. This thing isn't some newborn creature. It played me around for ages.
Ha ha! It's that interesting.
Chu Feng's complaint did not frighten her. It accomplished the exact opposite. Miaomiao became even more fascinated and immediately lowered her gaze toward the insect.
Are you male or female?
Beautiful lady, I am female.
The insect answered with such soft, shy obedience that anyone meeting it for the first time might have believed it to be the gentlest spirit creature beneath the heavens.
You're a royal spirit insect?
Seeing the creature nod so obediently, Chu Feng nearly scoffed aloud. He knew its true nature far too well. Lil Red's sudden obedience was not proof that she had become well-behaved. It was adaptability. She had already sensed that Miaomiao was someone she should not recklessly offend, so the shameless trickster immediately changed tactics. Chu Feng was at least relieved that the creature was female. Knowing how shameless it could be, he could scarcely imagine what nonsense it might attempt around Miaomiao otherwise.
Then, do you have a name?
I do?
What is it?
I'm called Shit.
Chu Feng happened to be drinking water. The instant that proud declaration entered his ears, he sprayed out his mouthful and stared at the tiny creature in disbelief. Inside Chu Feng's world spirit space, her Lady Queen immediately lost all composure. She clutched her stomach, bent over with laughter, and could barely contain herself.
Shit! Who gave it a name like that? Ha ha ha! I can't take it anymore.
Miaomiao, however, was not laughing. Her brows slowly drew together as discomfort appeared on her face.
Shit?
That's right. Shit, as in shitting out feces. Isn't it amazing? My dad said this must be the greatest name in the entire world.
There was no embarrassment in the royal spirit insect's voice. Quite the contrary. She sounded genuinely proud, completely unaware of why everyone else found her name so unbearable.
No, that name is terrible. I'm giving you another one.
Another name? You can come up with something even more amazing than the name my dad chose?
Chu Feng, you're a world spiritist. Help me think of one.
Just call her Lil Red.
Chu Feng's answer came with almost no thought whatsoever.
Min Lil Red is good. Simple, easy to remember, and it suits you perfectly. From now on, your name is Lil Red.
What? Lil Red? That's far too simple. No, I refuse. My name is Shit.
You can't keep that name. You don't understand how vulgar it sounds. Lil Red is much better. Come on, be obedient.
No, my name is Shit. Shit is my name. I'm Shit. I'm Shit.
The tiny creature's resistance grew increasingly fierce. Unfortunately for her, she had chosen the wrong person to challenge. Miaomiao curled her lips. A suspiciously pleasant smile appeared on her face.
You actually dare talk back to me? Then I'll teach you a lesson.
She seized Lil Red, one hand gripping near the head and the other holding the tail, and pulled. In a flash, the tiny insect stretched from the length of a finger to more than a meter, revealing an astonishing elasticity that ordinary creatures could never possess. For all her strange behavior, Lil Red was still a royal spirit insect. Her body itself displayed extraordinary properties, enduring deformation that would be impossible for a normal living creature. Miaomiao, however, was far more interested in playing with that ability than studying it.
Ah, no! Heavens, save me. You're going to stretch me into a thin noodle, even though I don't even know what noodles are. I was wrong. I don't want to be Shit anymore. I'm Lil Red. My name is Lil Red.
The surrender was immediate. The royal spirit insect, who had stubbornly defended her glorious old name, abandoned it. The instant Miaomiao's punishment became unbearable.
Ah, Chu Feng, look. Lil Red is unbelievably flexible. No matter how much I pull her, she doesn't break. This is amazing.
Lil Red begged repeatedly, but Miaomiao was having far too much fun. Her hands did not stop.
Great sir, save me. Save me from this witch.
Chu Feng heard the desperate plea and immediately remembered the smug look Lil Red had given him only moments earlier. The reversal was almost perfect. Only moments ago, Lil Red had celebrated escaping Chu Feng's grasp. Now she had discovered that the person she escaped toward was far more troublesome than the one she escaped from. Instead of rescuing her, Chu Feng smiled.
Miaomiao, since you like Lil Red so much, I'll give her to you.
Heavens no! I belong to Great Sir. I do not belong to the witch. Great Sir, I beg you. Don't give me to her. I haven't lived enough. I'm still only a child.
Before Miaomiao even had time to answer, Lil Red had already launched into frantic protest.
Chu Feng, are you serious?
Of course, if you like her, she's yours.
Great, I like her a lot. Lil Red is simply too fun.
With that declaration, Miaomiao stretched Lil Red once again, treating her newly acquired companion almost like the most fascinating toy she had ever discovered.
Mom, Grandpa, uncles, aunts, someone come save me.
Lil Red's miserable cries echoed alongside Miaomiao's delighted laughter, turning the strange encounter into a scene Chu Feng could only watch with amusement. For Chu Feng, the matter was surprisingly convenient. Lil Red was troublesome, slippery, and difficult to control. Miaomiao, meanwhile, possessed exactly the temperament needed to keep such a creature obedient. In that sense, the two truly were strangely well matched. Only after playing with Lil Red for a long while did Miaomiao finally resume the true purpose of their journey. Together with Chu Feng, she continued searching for the ancient era's immortal flowers. Even then, Lil Red received no peace. As they traveled, Miaomiao continued amusing herself with the unfortunate royal spirit insect. Chu Feng watched without the slightest sympathy. If anything, every passing moment convinced him further that Miaomiao was far more suitable to be Lil Red's master than he ever could be. Then, in the middle of yet another round of torment, Lil Red suddenly spoke with unusual urgency.
Wait! Stop messing with me. If you stop, I'll help the two of you find the ancient era's immortal flowers.
The atmosphere shifted instantly. Chu Feng and Miaomiao both looked toward Lil Red with suspicion.
Ancient era's immortal flowers? You know about them?
Neither of them immediately believed her. After witnessing Lil Red's craftiness firsthand, trusting such a sudden offer would have been foolish. Yet this was no trivial claim. The ancient era's immortal flowers were precisely what Chu Feng and Miaomiao were seeking. If Lil Red truly knew their location, then the irritating little creature might suddenly become the most useful guide they possessed.
I know! I really know! I know where the ancient era's immortal flowers are. Let me go, and I'll take you there.
Miaomiao smiled brightly. To anyone else, that smile might have appeared sweet and harmless. To Lil Red, who had already experienced Miaomiao's methods, it carried a far more terrifying meaning.
Lil Red, you know what will happen if you lie to me, right?
I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare.
Fear overwhelmed the tiny royal spirit insect so completely that cold sweat appeared despite her insect body. And just like that, what began as a ridiculous struggle over a name suddenly became something far more important. Lil Red's secret knowledge could change the course of their search. But with a creature this crafty, the real question was whether her information would prove to be salvation, another trick, or perhaps something neither Chu Feng nor Miaomiao expected. Miaomiao did not immediately trust Lil Red's claim. If this strange little creature truly knew where the ancient era's immortal flowers grew, then there was only one way to prove it.
In that case, I'll ask you a couple of questions.
One after another, she questioned Lil Red about the distinctive characteristics of the ancient era's immortal flower. These were not casual questions. Each one tested whether Lil Red possessed genuine knowledge or was simply weaving another shameless lie. Yet to the surprise of both Chu Feng and Miaomiao, Lil Red answered every question correctly, and did so without hesitation. That immediate response changed everything. Lil Red was troublesome, slippery, and shameless, but knowledge this precise was difficult to fake. For the first time, its claim of knowing the flower's location carried real weight. Joy rose in Miaomiao's heart, and even Chu Feng could not conceal his relief. They had searched for so long without finding a trace. Now, at last, the darkness before them seemed to split apart, revealing a narrow path of hope. With Lil Red leading the way, Chu Feng and Miaomiao immediately set off. Their figures tore through the region at astonishing speed, racing toward what they believed to be the location of the ancient era's immortal flowers. An entire day passed. Then, without warning, Chu Feng stopped. His expression shifted. His gaze became deep and complicated, as though something hidden within the landscape ahead had already exposed the truth to him.
Lil Red, tell me honestly, are you deceiving us?
Lil Red immediately grew uneasy.
Great, sir. What are you talking about? I've been obedient. How could I possibly deceive the two of you?
Chu Feng was unmoved.
The place ahead is not where the ancient era's immortal flowers are located. It is where your race lives, isn't it?
Miaomiao's long eyebrows drew together. The lightness in her expression vanished at once. The ancient era's immortal flowers mattered far too much for her to tolerate being deliberately led astray.
Lil Red is what Chu Feng said true?
The deception had been exposed. With nowhere left to hide, Lil Red finally admitted the truth.
I was wrong, okay? I only wanted to return home. I just wanted to see my relatives before taking you to find the ancient era's immortal flowers.
Lil Red's motive did not erase the deception, but it revealed something important beneath its shameless behavior. It had not forgotten its clan. Even while traveling with Chu Feng and Miaomiao, the desire to return home had remained stronger than its fear of punishment. Miaomiao's anger immediately erupted.
Lil Red, you little bastard! You actually dared to deceive me. Watch how I deal with you.
Before she could teach Lil Red the lesson it clearly expected, Chu Feng intervened. Miaomiao stared at him in surprise. Lil Red was even more bewildered. Both understood how serious this deception had been, yet Chu Feng's expression held no anger. Instead, his calmness carried something far heavier.
Lil Red, prepare yourself.
Ah, great sir, what are you talking about?
Chu Feng looked toward the land ahead.
Your relatives are no longer here.
Miaomiao's eyes flickered. In that instant, she seemed to understand why Chu Feng had stopped her. Lil Red did not.
Great sir, what are you talking about? Why don't I understand?
Go and see for yourself.
Chu Feng freed Lil Red from Miaomiao's grasp and simply let it go. He did not fear that Lil Red would flee. Whatever awaited ahead was now more important than any deception. Lil Red instantly shot forward. Miaomiao followed, and Chu Feng moved behind them. Their speed was extraordinary. Before long, they reached the place Lil Red had called home. It was a small field, the territory that should have belonged to the royal spirit insects. Once, complicated networks of caves should have covered this place. Several thousand royal spirit insects had lived here. But now those caves were gone. The entire settlement had been devastated, leaving behind an enormous crater. Within it and along its edges lay countless dried remains of insects, their former appearances no longer recognizable. From the lingering traces, Chu Feng could tell that their deaths had occurred only recently.
No.
Lil Red's earlier mischief vanished completely. The little creature became frantic, crying out again and again as the truth before it shattered the hope of returning home. Chu Feng and Xian Miaomiao could no longer feel anger toward it. They had known Lil Red only briefly. They knew perfectly well how shameless and troublesome it could be, and they knew that it had deliberately brought them here instead of directly taking them to the ancient era's immortal flowers. Yet none of that mattered while listening to those grief-stricken cries. Chu Feng understood this pain more deeply than most. He himself had experienced the agony left behind when one's clan was destroyed. That memory allowed him to recognize what Lil Red was suffering without needing a single explanation. And this is where Lil Red ceased to be merely comic relief. Beneath the boasting and deception was a creature tied to its own people, and in a single moment that bond became the source of overwhelming grief. Suddenly, Lil Red transformed into a streak of red light and shot toward the distance.
Miaomiao, follow it.
Chu Feng grabbed Xian Miaomiao and immediately pursued Lil Red. With his speed, catching the little creature would have been easy, but he deliberately remained behind. Chu Feng's restraint was calculated. Lil Red was not fleeing randomly. Its sudden movement suggested that it had sensed something connected to its clan, and stopping it too early might cause them to lose the only lead they had. His judgment was correct. Lil Red had sensed the aura of its clansmen. Racing along that trace, it soon reached them. But the scene awaiting Chu Feng, Xian Miaomiao, and Lil Red contained far more than royal spirit insects. 10 human figures stood there. Every one of them possessed the cultivation of a rank 4 martial emperor. Black cloaks concealed their bodies, while identical, strange masks covered their faces. Chu Feng recognized that attire immediately. They were from the Dark Hall. Their appearance was an alarming revelation. This place was not somewhere ordinary cultivators could casually enter. Yet the Dark Hall had not merely sent one infiltrator. 10 rank 4 martial emperors had arrived safely, proving that the mysterious organization possessed methods and information far beyond what outsiders understood. And these 10 were not ordinary martial experts. Every one of them was also a world spiritist. Their world spiritist level reached Snakemark Royal Cloak. At that moment, they were jointly controlling an enormous spirit formation, an unsealing formation. At the heart of that formation were countless royal spirit insects. Their auras had not completely disappeared, proving their identities beyond doubt, but none remained alive. Just like those found near the crater, their bodies had been drained and dried. They had not simply been struck down in battle. The formation itself had refined away their lives. The implication was chilling. The royal spirit insects were not being eliminated merely because they stood in the Dark Hall's way. Their innate energy was being treated as material, a resource to fuel the unsealing formation. Lil Red's grief instantly transformed into fury.
Ah!
Like a crimson bolt, Lil Red hurled itself directly at the Dark Hall experts. Its speed was astonishing. The momentum generated by that charge carried tremendous force, and one Dark Hall expert was struck so suddenly that he was sent several meters away. The 10 experts had been concentrating entirely on the unsealing formation. Lil Red's unexpected attack threw their orderly operation into confusion.
What is it?
Then they saw Lil Red clearly.
There's actually another one that escaped. Catch it!
5 of the Dark Hall experts remained behind to maintain the grand formation. The other 5 immediately rose and worked together to capture Lil Red. But Lil Red had already lost all restraint. It repeatedly crashed into the 5 experts with terrifying speed, knocking them off balance and sending them tumbling across the ground. Unable to seize it through ordinary means, the 5 world spiritists rapidly constructed spirit formations around Lil Red, attempting to seal its movements. It was useless. Their formations simply could not restrain Lil Red. This revealed why the royal spirit insects were so valuable. Lil Red's cultivation was not being displayed through conventional martial techniques, yet its extraordinary speed and resistance to spirit formations made it extremely difficult even for 5 rank 4 martial emperors and Snakemark Royal Cloak world spiritists to control. The Dark Hall experts quickly recognized that Lil Red was no ordinary member of its race.
That insect is somewhat special. Capture it. It must possess even stronger energy. If we throw it into the formation, we can greatly reduce the time needed to undo the spirit formation.
At those words, the situation changed again. The remaining 5 Dark Hall experts abandoned their positions around the unsealing formation. All 10 rank 4 martial emperors now turned their attention toward Lil Red and began closing in from every direction. What had begun as Lil Red's desperate return home had now exposed something far greater. The Dark Hall was operating inside this forbidden region, slaughtering royal spirit insects to break a seal. And whatever lay behind that seal was important enough for 10 martial emperor-level world spiritists to gather here. For Chu Feng and Miaomiao, the search for the ancient era's Immortal Flowers had just collided with the Dark Hall's hidden objective, and with all 10 enemies surrounding Lil Red, confrontation was now almost impossible to avoid. Lil Red's furious cry tore through the air, every word trembling with grief and rage.
I'm gonna smash you all to death. I'm gonna smash every last one of you, you damn devils! Ah!
Lil Red had never intended to flee. With her terrifying speed, 10 rank 4 martial emperors could never have caught her if escape had truly been her goal. Even a force many times larger might have struggled to touch that streak of crimson light. But her clansmen were gone, grief had swallowed caution, and fury had buried reason. Again and again, her tiny body became a crimson blur, hurling itself toward the 10 Dark Hall experts with astonishing speed. Lil Red's greatest advantage was speed, not overwhelming destructive power. Against rank 4 martial emperors, speed could keep her alive, but rage had transformed that advantage into a trap. By choosing repeated direct attacks instead of retreat, she surrendered the very battlefield control that made her difficult to capture. No matter how swiftly she struck, however, the difference in raw power remained impossible to ignore. Her attacks could harass the Dark Hall experts, but they could not truly break their defenses. Then came one fatal moment of carelessness. One of the Dark Hall experts seized Lil Red and locked her firmly in his grasp. The crimson streak that had danced beyond their reach was finally trapped.
Ha ha, little thing, you certainly know how to struggle. You want revenge for your clansmen, don't you? Unfortunately, you'll never have that chance. Still, there is one thing you can do. You can accompany them in death.
Lil Red suddenly stopped struggling. It was not surrender born from fear. She understood the difference in strength, and deep within her heart, she had already prepared herself to share her clansman's fate. Then, without warning, a voice exploded from behind the Dark Hall experts like thunder breaking across a silent sky.
Release her!
All 10 experts stiffened. They turned together, and shock instantly spread across their faces. Standing before them were Miaomiao and Chu Feng.
Chu Feng!
None of them had expected Chu Feng to appear in this place, much less with the ancient era's elves' little princess beside him. Miaomiao had made no attempt to conceal her aura. The Dark Hall experts were world spiritists, and from her age, cultivation, and extraordinary presence, they quickly recognized the renowned genius of the ancient era's elves.
Chu Feng, why are you here? Ah, it must be that armor you're wearing, isn't it?
Chu Feng did not answer the question. His gaze remained fixed upon Lil Red.
I said release her.
The chill in his voice was unmistakable, yet the man holding Lil Red showed no fear. Instead, arrogant laughter rang out.
I truly don't know where you found the courage to order me around.
His amusement vanished, replaced by a cold and gloomy stare.
Chu Feng, could it be that you still haven't realized? You've already stepped through the gates of hell.
In that instant, Chu Feng moved. There was no warning, no drawn-out exchange, no opportunity for his enemy to react. A crimson flash crossed the space between them, and Chu Feng appeared directly before the man. With his hand shaped like a blade, Chu Feng struck with such precision that the arm restraining Lil Red was severed from its hold in a single movement. Freed at last, Lil Red transformed into a streak of red light and immediately fled to Miaomiao's side. But Chu Feng's assault had only begun. His other hand shot toward the man's dantian, and before the Dark Hall expert could recover, Chu Feng had already crippled the very foundation of his resistance. The remaining 9 experts froze. Chu Feng's cultivation realm appeared inferior to theirs, yet the battle had exposed something far more important than realm alone: actual combat strength. His explosive power erased the advantage they believed their cultivation gave them, and he had done it before they could even establish a formation or coordinate their attacks. Golden World spirit power suddenly surged from Chu Feng. It spread outward in every direction, transformed into a sealed fortress, and enclosed the Dark Hall experts completely. Only then did Chu Feng answer the threat he had received moments earlier.
Indeed, this place is the gates of hell, but you are not their masters.
With one decisive motion, Chu Feng finished the expert he had already subdued. The man had no opportunity to mount another defense.
A heaven-defying battle power capable of surmounting 5 levels of cultivation? You actually possess battle power capable of surmounting 5 levels.
Fear finally replaced arrogance on the faces of the remaining 9. To possess heaven-defying battle power capable of overcoming 4 levels of cultivation was already extraordinary beyond measure. Chu Feng and Miaomiao were renowned precisely because they had reached that astonishing standard. Yet what Chu Feng had just displayed surpassed even that. Even Miaomiao looked at him with unmistakable surprise. She too had never expected Chu Feng's battle power to have reached the terrifying level of surmounting 5 cultivation levels. This was more than another increase in strength. In the martial world, every additional level one could overcome represented an enormous widening of the gap between an ordinary genius and a true monster. Chu Feng had just revealed that the limits his enemies remembered were already outdated. Chu Feng turned his attention toward the remaining captives. His expression carried no trace of hesitation.
I'm going to ask you some questions. You will answer them, otherwise every one of you will die.
One of the 9 sneered despite the danger surrounding him. Determination flashed through his eyes.
Chu Feng, aren't you underestimating the Dark Hall? You want information from us? Perhaps in your next life.
He intended to end his own life before Chu Feng could extract anything. But Chu Feng had already anticipated such resistance. A vast oppressive might surged from Chu Feng and descended upon all 9 experts. Their bodies were instantly restricted, leaving them unable to carry out even that final act.
You think a few techniques are enough to stop us?
Chu Feng remained completely unhurried.
What do you think?
You?
Panic finally spread through the group. They had tested the restraint and discovered that Chu Feng had truly sealed off their ability to end their own lives. Because they themselves were world spiritists, it did not take them long to understand what Chu Feng had done.
It's the spirit formation. You combined your oppressive might with the formation. What a ruthless technique.
The frightening part was not merely that Chu Feng was stronger. He had deliberately layered martial suppression with world spirit techniques. Even if the prisoners could resist one method, the second restriction closed the escape route. It was the kind of control possible only when combat strength and world spirit mastery were used together.
You will all die eventually. The difference is that you no longer have the right to decide how. That decision belongs to me.
Chu Feng formed a sequence of hand seals. The surrounding spirit formation immediately changed, manifesting countless grasping forces that locked onto the 9 captives and subjected them to overwhelming pain. Their defiance collapsed into cries of agony.
Stop, please stop.
Chu Feng immediately began his interrogation.
Why are you here? What is your purpose in coming here? Who is your leader?
Yet although the 9 begged for the suffering to end, not one gave him the answer he wanted. Chu Feng changed methods repeatedly, increasing the pressure of his interrogation, but their mouths remained sealed. Their resistance revealed something deeply troubling about the Dark Hall. These men feared capture and interrogation, yet even under extreme pressure, they refused to reveal their mission, their purpose, or their leader. Such discipline suggested that the organization's methods of secrecy went far beyond ordinary loyalty. Chu Feng's eyes narrowed. He had expected resistance, but not this degree of resolve.
Your mouths are surprisingly tight. Fine. Then I'll see your true identities for myself and discover exactly who is willing to throw away their lives for the Dark Hall.
He stepped before one of the Dark Hall experts and reached toward the man's mask. The mask was no ordinary disguise. It had been constructed in such a way that brute force could not simply remove it. Even Chu Feng needed to employ world spirit techniques. But the instant his world spirit power touched the strange mask, Chu Feng's expression changed. He withdrew at once. A violent explosion followed immediately. Something hidden within the captive had been triggered by Chu Feng's attempt to uncover his identity, destroying the man before the mask could be removed. That single reaction changed the meaning of the interrogation. The secrecy of the Dark Hall was not protected merely by courage or loyalty. Their members themselves had been turned into sealed vessels of information, with hidden safeguards capable of silencing them automatically. Another captive suddenly panicked. His voice trembled as though he had finally abandoned resistance.
Chu Feng, please spare us. We truly have no way to tell you anything. Inside our bodies there is...
He never finished the sentence. Another explosion cut him off. It was not an attack from Chu Feng, nor had the man intentionally caused it. Whatever had been placed within him had reacted the instant he approached forbidden information. The remaining experts finally understood that there was one escape Chu Feng's formation could not prevent.
Chu Feng, I'll tell you everything.
But their sudden willingness to speak was a deception. They had no intention of revealing the Dark Hall's secrets. Instead, they deliberately approached the forbidden information, using the hidden mechanism within themselves to escape Chu Feng's control. Even Chu Feng could not suppress something that detonated from within their own bodies. One after another, the remaining Dark Hall experts triggered the same hidden restriction. Within moments, all 9 captives were dead, and every trail Chu Feng had tried to follow vanished with them. Chu Feng had completely dominated the confrontation, yet the Dark Hall still denied him the victory that mattered most: information. Their experts could be defeated, captured, and restrained, but the organization had prepared for exactly that possibility. And that may be the most ominous revelation of this encounter. An enemy willing to destroy its own secrets before allowing them to fall into another's hands is far more dangerous than a group relying on strength alone. Chu Feng had exposed his astonishing 5-level heaven-defying battle power. But at the same time, he had finally glimpsed just how deeply the Dark Hall had prepared for war.